Here's a little video I've put together on how to calculate actual winds using an E6B. So we've got a question here, and you can see that we've got a flight plan track of 120 degrees magnetic, and we know that when we were at point A, the time was 0230, and a little while later, 12 minutes later, 0242, we were 4 nautical miles off track. So how do we calculate the actual winds? So we can see we had a heading of 122 degrees and a TAS of 165 knots. So the first thing we need to do is calculate our track made good. And for those of you that are familiar with the 1 in 60, we know the first thing we need to do for that is to calculate our track error. So track error is the distance off track, the 4 nautical miles, over the distance travelled, the 30 nautical miles, times 60. So I shouldn't need to use a flight computer for this, but I'll demonstrate that in a second. But obviously 60 divided by 30 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8, so our track error is 8. So we'll just work that. So our track made good will be our flight planned track minus our track error, which is 120 minus 8 gives us 112 degrees. All right, just having a look how I might do that on a flight computer. Obviously, if the numbers aren't easily divisible by 60 or into 60, we'll just see how we do that. So to do this on a computer, if we take the smaller number, the 4 nautical miles, and have that on the outside scale, 4 nautical miles, divided by the 30 on the inside scale, then our little triangle will point to our track error, 8 degrees. And it's to the left, so we subtract it. So give our 112. The next thing we need to find out is our ground speed between point A and point B. And I'll just point out that obviously with a right angle triangle, the distance from A to B is not quite 30 nautical miles, but we can ignore it for the purposes of these calculations. So we know that we started at point A at 0230, and we get to point B at 0242, so that's 12 minutes. 12 goes into 65 times. 5 times 3 is 150. So you should be able to start to do some of these things in your head. 150 knots. But if you need to work that out on a flight computer, obviously we've got our distance on the outside scale of 30, and we can rotate this around to get our 12 minutes on the inside scale, and our triangle will point to our ground speed of 150 knots. All right, so now we've worked out our track made good and our ground speed. We want to calculate the actual wind. So we flip over the calculator, and we're going to set our track made good, 112 at the top, under the true index. 112. Sorry, like that. And our ground speed under the center. Now the wind has blown us to the left of track, so the wind is coming from the right, but an easy way to work this out is we take our heading minus our track made good, so that's 122 minus 112 equals 10 degrees, and because that's a positive number, it's going to be on the right hand side. So we've got 10 degrees, and we then have a look where our TAS is, and we make a mark on the 10 degree line and up where the TAS is, 65, like that. And now we rotate the disc around till it gets to the top, and we'll move it down so that we've got a nice round number. I like to come down to 100, and we can calculate our wind speed of 10, 20, 32 knots. So we've got 32 knots of wind at 179 degrees, and that's how we do it.